Okay, in today's video we got 3 machines: lawnmower, chainsaw, trimmer, and very simple fixes. We're going to be replacing the wheels, the drive belt, and the wheel engagement cable. On the chainsaw we're going to be putting a new primer bulb in. That's pretty simple. And on the weed whacker, or on the shaft driven trimmer, we're going to be doing grease and a string cutter. Okay, step 1, remove the spark plug lead. Step 2, remove your plastic cover for your belt. That'll make life a lot easier. And you want to take the belt off so you can move the little transmission guy around. There's some belt guides. There's a belt guide here. Just loosen that up, take it out of your way, and you can take this belt off. I'm going to replace the belt anyhow. You take your new cable assembly and you just simply kind of get this little, you want to get this little hook down in the plastic housing of like that. Make sure it's engaged, and then just snap your cable into there. Make sure it's connected well. And replacing the belt is pretty easy. Just slip the new belt in behind the blades, and behind the blade. Just kind of push it up to the other pulley. You got these little guides here to keep the belt in place. You just have to loosen those up. Flip your lawnmower over. And get it around the front pulley. You may have to turn it a little bit to get it to slide in there. And there's a new belt. Fairly simple. Prop this up. One nut. The wheel comes right off. Make sure you save the washer for this. You want to save your nut and washer. Put a little bit of silicone on there, something, some sort of lubricant, and just simply this mower is 10 years old, and the wheels have lasted a good 10 years. I got your block of wood, your pipe, a little piece of PVC pipe or a block of wood will help make life a little easier. Prop this up. Simply take the old wheel off by just taking this nut off. Slip the new wheel in place. Pretty easy. And put the nut and washer. Make sure you put the washer on. And you get new wheels. So the engagement cable comes with this entire handle assembly. You can't just buy the cable and it snaps into the top of the handlebar. There's no big bar. There's just this plastic handle here. So simply just put it back on the bar. And this is the old box. I wanted to see if I could replace it. I could, but you can't just buy the cable without this box. Not that I have found. You could probably try to match one up with a different brand and do all that routine, but that may or may not work. So you just have to bite the bullet and get a whole new lever box here. So anyhow, and then you want to secure this with some zip ties, get this slack taken up. Okay, I added a few zip ties along the handle here. Keep the slack taken up. There is some adjustment here. This barrel adjustment to get some more length. So anyways, this is pretty much put back together. I might add a few more zip ties and maybe a wrap of electrical tape. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the end result. So new wheels, $16 a piece. Control, drive control handle, and new cable is about $50. So wasn't a lot of money, and it didn't take very much time at all to fix it. And for the price of a new mower these days, I think it's a good idea to keep this old stuff running. So, all right, well, put the action camera on board and take it for a spin. Okay, quick fix number 2 is to put a new primer bulb in this little Echo chainsaw. I've had this saw for literally 20 years. I've never had a problem with it. The short nipple is the suck nipple. The long nipple is the supply to the carburetor. And when you get this, you'll have to buy a foot of hose. So I went ahead and I'll put a new hose on the supply and down to the carburetor. And this guy and when you remove this, take a very small pick and just pry it up and it'll pop right out. Or a very small flat screwdriver. And it should just pop right out of here. I got this cut way too long. Needle nose, just to maneuver the lines around. Again, just kind of line it up, make sure it's lined up, and it'll snap right in. Put the supply line down to the supply nipple. Again, if you got fat fingers, you're not going to be able to get in there. Take some needle nose. And again, just take your time. So that's snapped in. But I've actually flooded the carburetor, so it does work. So put the air filter back. We'll clean this up, put the air filter back on. I took the brake handle off just for clarity. You don't necessarily have to remove the brake handle, the kickback handle. I just did that for video clarity, make it easier to take a video. So we'll get the air filter cleaned up and put back on, and I'll take it for a test run. For our third and final project today, we're going to put a new string cutter on the guard. Earlier this summer, the guard busted into like 3 different pieces, and I'd lost this piece, flew off, and haven't seen it since. So I got a new brush guard. It does not come with the string cutter, so I'm going to put the new string cutter on Remove this blade and grease the gears. Very simple process. My machine's old enough to have a fitting to do that. The new machines, you cannot grease them easily. Okay, a very easy way to work on a string trimmer. Put the power head on a ladder and gently put the shaft in a vise. You don't have to crank on it. Just snug it up so you can work on it. This makes life a lot easier. Okay, the new guard does not come with a new cutter. The new cutter does not come with screws. So either order the screws separately or go through your... Everybody's got a pile of screws. So just go through your pile of screws and find some. Okay, gravity gets you every time. There is a cutting edge on both sides of this, so you don't have to worry about what side is which. If you look at the little arrow, the strings will come along, whip around, and get cut off this way. I know this is high tech using a cheap pair of Craftsman pliers. But hey, it gets the job done. Okay, that's that project. So that part's done. Let's take, helps if you go the right way when you want to loosen it. On this machine. The new machines you cannot just grease. You have to like dismantle them to do any kind of greasing. I got some air in the air compressor. You do not need a lot of grease. We're not talking about, you know, a ton of grease, but just kind of. I suppose you could get a fitting for this, but if you just hold it. Now if you saw that, but this little, kind of this little bushing popped out. And that's all you need. You don't need gobs and gobs of grease. Old grease gets pushed out, new grease gets pushed in. You can kind of see it change color. I'll wipe this off. You can't do this without this fitting, without this part here. You'd have to probably take the head off and be a little bit more work. Obviously you don't want to have it too full, so then just take the excess, wipe off the excess, put your plug back in, tighten it up. All you have to do is snug it. Throw your dirty rags in the empty parts box and reassemble. After you put it on the right way. If you don't know, look at the arrow. I always double check with the arrow because it's easy to get mixed up. You don't have to tighten this up very much because centrifugal force will do most of the work for you. So that is it. That's two easy fixes for the weed whacker, one easy fix for the chainsaw, 3 easy fixes for the lawnmower. And everything's running good. The saw's running good. The mower's running good. We're going to fire this up. We got some stuff to take care of in the garden. And thank you all for watching. And have a good day. All right. Bye-bye.